So we're starting a brand new series where it's basically Mythbusters. We're going to test obscenely ridiculous ideas for ESO and just see if they work. So on today's first episode ever, I wanted to try an all penetration build on something like a DK. I wanted to see if it could work and not use corrosive on a build for once. So I wanted to see if this could work. So guys, I really hope that you enjoy. If you do, if you want to see content like this, let me know in the comments. If you want me to test certain things, if you think I could tweak this in any way, just let me know in the comments below, and I would highly appreciate all your guys' answers and feedback. I really hope that you guys enjoy it, and let's get on with the video. Alright, so to start, we want to write everything down on paper before we actually got into PvP, because we just want to see exactly where to go and how to get the most amount of pen possible. So, for this, I definitely thought that Shattered Fate was the way to go. We had 7.9k offensive penetration for that 5-piece item, so in my opinion, Shattered Fate, no-brainer. Next one I wanted to use was just one-piece Valken Scoria, because the one piece of that gives us 1.4k offensive pen. So in my opinion, for a one piece of gear to have that much pen, definitely worth it. And then on top of that, I wanted to use Spriggan's Maces as our front bar set. I thought that Maces were definitely the way to go. That'll increase your pen. And on top of that, we're also going to be getting Spriggan's as the 3.4k offensive pen for that 5-piece. So between all of those, I really thought that that was just a great amount of pen. So looking at this on paper, our spell penetration is at 22k. And then that's before our Noxious Breath, which is going to give us Major Breach. So that 22k plus that 6k, we're going to be looking at about 28k penetration at all times, which is... wow. That's a lot. I thought that Malakath was definitely the way to go too, because with all that penetration, we're just going to be hitting so hard, and I'd rather use that than Markin, and I really thought that that would be hitting hard. So let's try this out and see exactly how this goes in PvP, and if we need to make any adjustments, we'll make them in live time. So for the first test, I tried to build out in a BG, and I was not very impressed with it. It was a really bad way to start off the tests. The damage was definitely nice, and it felt nice, but overall, with just building into pen and building into no resistances or really much weapon damage, it just was really tough on my overall sustain and damage. My sustain was horrendous in the Battleground, but like I said, the damage was nice, but I couldn't sustain. I died in 2 seconds. Anytime anybody even looked in my direction, I was just dying. I started off going 0-4, and it was very, very tough. It was one of those builds that I was immediately discouraged with right away, and I just wasn't really impressed to start off, and honestly, I feel like that's fine. It's a Battleground at the end of the day, so you're going to have no CP. So you don't have that to help you with your damage mitigation, because a lot of CP helps you with your resistances and your damage mitigation. So overall, I was a little bit... I wasn't really impressed to start off with, but just moving on, I felt like, you know what, we still have a lot of Cyrodiil to try out in CP Cyrodiil to see if it works there. So for our first test of seeing if a pen-only build works in a Battleground, I would say not really. I would definitely say it is not worth building into for your Battlegrounds. If you do no CP in any means, I would say that this build is not that great, and I would say for that, that's part of the no CP section of our test. I would say it is a fail. So that is unfortunate, but we still have regular CP Cyrodiil to try out. Alright, so after the Battleground test, I figured it was time to go into Cyrodiil and try out some solo gameplay for a bit. So I ran around, I tried to find some fights on my own, and overall, it was pretty good when you were just fighting 1 or 2 people. The pressure that you gave out was insane, and they really couldn't heal past it too much, especially with your leap hitting so hard. Leaping and then hitting your Molten Whip is just such a strong combo in this build, because you just have such high pen at all times that it was really strong for that. But there were certain situations where I got severely outnumbered, where I was fighting, honestly, even not severely outnumbered. Once it got to a point where I was fighting about 3, maybe even 4 people, it was really tough to even survive. I was getting hit really hard. My sustain was really having issues. So overall, I think it was a great build in a one-on-one situation when you're solo, but once you get past that, it's kind of tough. And as far as solo gameplay goes, I don't really recommend it too much. You're just going to get hit really hard once you're outnumbered, and you're just not going to be able to recover too much because you don't have something like corrosive to help mitigate your damage. You're only using leap, and it's just a tough situation. So overall, as far as solo gameplay goes, that's gonna fail the test as well. So unfortunately right now, as far as the BG test goes and then solo open world goes, we're 0-2 right now. But don't worry guys, we're on to the next part, and it is looking a little bit more promising. We're gonna get on to a little bit of a group play next in a nice little 2vx. Alright, so on to test number 3. This is going to be our open world with a partner. They are not a pocket healer, they're just another player. So hopefully this goes a little bit better, but honestly, it kind of didn't. I had the same problems as solo, where if anybody was targeting me at any point, I would just kind of fall over and die. And it's just unfortunate because the build is actually a lot of fun and I was hitting really hard. It was really nice though. Having a duo partner really did take a lot of the pressure off of me. So that was a very helpful, and I definitely felt like I was a lot more viable when I was with my friend. When I was in a duo, it was a lot more viable. So it was awesome, and it definitely felt like I was seeing more of the potential of this build during that situation. So that was better. But as far as the gameplay went, I was still dying a lot. And there's builds that I'm playing and sometimes I just don't die for hours on end. This is one of those builds where I died multiple times within a very short span. So it's a very unfortunate situation, but it's kind of falling into the same category over and over again, where if you don't have those heals or any kind of mitigation, you're just gonna fall over. So as far as the tests go, we're kind of 0-3. I would say it's better in a small scale situation where you do have somebody to take the pressure off you, so that does help a lot. But overall, I would still rate it pretty low, and I probably would give the third test a fail if I was going to go overall as well. Before we get on to the last test, if you guys could just do me that quick favor and hitting that subscribe button, that would help me out so much. I hope that you guys have been enjoying the video so far. It's kind of new. I haven't really gone this in-depth into the editing process, and I know that it could use a lot of work, and I'm really trying my best out here. So I hope that you guys enjoy. If you do, just let me know. But guys, let's get on to the fourth and final test. Alright, so the fourth and final test is us in a little 3-man group. It's myself, the player that we were playing with in the 2vx, and also a healer. The healer is a dedicated healer, so they're just doing nothing but pocketing me the entire time, so it takes a lot of the pressure off of me at all times. And that is the best scenario for this build, is when you have somebody that can help you with your heals and also your damage mitigation. That is the best way to play this build, but unfortunately that's kind of the reality of a lot of builds in Serial right now, and that's kind of the reality of healers in general right now. Healing is a very strong output in this game right now, and that just goes to show that it carries builds like this. This build was a lot of fun, but overall, I needed a pocket healer to actually be able to be viable in a PvP scenario, and it was really nice. This is the only situation and only scenario that I would give where I would pass the all pen build, and it's unfortunate because like I said in the last 2 or 3 sections, it is a very fun build. Like, if you guys just want to get on and just try and just mess around and just have fun, this is a great build to try. But is it worth it, and is it unbelievably endgame meta? No, not by any means. But this is a great just example of how healers can just really help you shine on builds that just lack that healing and really that tankiness as well. And overall, I was really carried by this. So I am going to give this last and final test, I'm going to give this a pass. But overall, I would say that this build is a fail, unfortunately, which is unfortunate because I did think it was a lot of fun. I know I've said that 1,000 times already, but as far as viability goes in PvP and as far as meta goes, No, don't run this build. I definitely don't recommend that in the slightest. It was a lot of fun, but I don't say, hey guys, go out and use this, because it just wasn't worth it in the long run. It was too squishy. It just lacked that sustained damage over time, because you just couldn't sustain your actual resources. So you got to a certain limit, and then that's it. You just couldn't really do anything else, because there wasn't really much ult gen on the build. There wasn't really much of anything besides that damage. So unfortunate, but I feel like that's what this new series is for. It's so that we can test new things out and just have fun with it and just try new fun things. And I did have a good time enjoying this and trying this out. So guys, if you liked videos like this, and if you want to see me do other kind of just random wacky tests in the future, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you would see me want to test. I just tried out Necromancer as well with a few different builds, and I think that might be the next video that we're working on, but after that, I don't really have any ideas. So if you guys want to let me know in the comments below, just any kind of wacky idea that you'd like me to try out, let me know, and I will see if it works in PvP or see if it doesn't work. And yeah, also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Just clicking that one button helps support me as well. And also, don't forget to like the video on your way out as well. So guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys staying till the end, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Later.